So I'm gonna just show you guys stats. I'm not gonna tell you who they're from. I'm not. You guys, of course, we know who we're talking about today, but I'm not gonna tell you who is who. You guys can let me know in the comment section which player you think is which, and then of course I'm gonna give you my opinion on both Bradley Barcola and Yan Diomande, and obviously reasons, I guess, why for both. So let's go straight into it, right? You can see here, this is obviously from this season and this season alone. You can see I've done it per 90 minutes, by the way, as well. Shot accuracy from player A, who's on the left, and player B is on the right. Shots on target this season, 1.6 from player B. Goals, 0.6. Goals from inside the box. Player B is doing well there. Goals from outside the box. Conversion rate, though, player A has a higher conversion rate than player B, which is actually quite interesting. Open play passes completed. Player A has done pretty well there. He's got better open play passes, assists, chances created, just what 2.1 to 2. Passes attempted. Yeah, again, they're quite close, really and truly, for both of these two players. Passing accuracy, again, really, really close. Long passes attempted. I tried to put as much attacking statistics up as I could possibly think of. Of course, if there's any other underlying metrics that you guys want to put in there, please do let me know. Long pass accuracy, player B has got a way higher long passing accuracy. Crosses attempted, 1.6 to 1.3. Crosses completed. The accuracy is 20 for player B in comparison to 16.28. Is that something that you care about? I don't know. Forward passes, 7.4 to 6.6. Sideways passes, again, they're honestly, Barcola and Diomande are actually really, really close. I actually didn't know. Obviously, I know who's who, but I didn't really look at it. I kind of wanted to just look at it with fresh eyes, to kind of see, because I've now actually semi-forgotten. I know who's sort of, but now I'm starting to slightly forget. But it doesn't really matter. I'll know by the end of this video, right? Player B makes more tackles per game. Take-ons. Now this one was actually really, really high. You can see, look, take-ons completed by player A is 4.3 to 1.9. That is crazy. And the success rate obviously shows it. Player A wins more fouls, contests more duels just by 0.2. Aerial duels 0.6 to 0.2. That's interesting. Wow, that success rate is crazy. 14 to 47. Let me see that. Jules contested 1.1. So he contests less, but still, yeah, that's mad. Ground jewels. Now, this is interesting. Contested 13.1 to 9.3. He's won 6.6 to 4, 6.8 to 4.5. Dual success 50 to 42. Interceptions, they are close. Corners, touches, relatively close. I don't know why I put that in there. I don't really care. Ball recoveries, player A recovers the ball more per 90 minutes. Again, is that something that you want and need, within your team? But yeah, I mean, look, touches inside the opposition box, 8.7 to 7.1. So yeah, it's the reason why I did all of this, right, is purely because obviously there's a lot of talk. And again, at the time of this video, we can see that I think Liverpool are quite advanced with a Yan Diomande, or they are advancing, should I say, at the time of this video on Yan Diomande. So I'm just not 100% sure on him, if I'm being totally honest with you. I do like Bradley Barcola. I have liked him since he was at Lyon, and then obviously now he's at PSG. I think this notion that because he's at PSG and PSG are looking to potentially let him go and get in a Yan Diomande is that, oh well, Bradley Barcola must be worse. And I don't really share that notion. For me, I'm looking at that more as you got a guy who's, I think Barcola is about 23 years of age. He's in a position right now in his career where he feels, he's in the French team as well. He feels he should be playing some more games. He wants to be playing some more games as well. And if he feels that he deserves to play them, then, why not? And I think over the last couple of seasons, especially where PSG have been really, really good, back-to-back Champions Leagues and things like that, obviously you need a squad of players, right? You need a squad of players at a certain kind of level, especially in that attack. You've got Kvaratskhelia, you've got Doué, you've got Ousmane Dembele as well. So it's going to be quite difficult to try and dispel them. You can see Gonzalo Ramos is obviously having those issues at this current moment, in time. So having a player like Barcola, I mean, if he was willing to stay, and again, we don't even know, he might be saying, I want to stay. I really want to stay. I want to be a part of this team and this project. I will keep biding my time, etc. Not to say he should, but he might think that. When you've got a player like Yan Diomande, he's 19 years of age. In my personal opinion, I look at that as he's 19. I don't feel like, 'cause I still don't know who he's going to kind of really dispel in that forward line. Do you know what I mean? Like, unless they're going to play in a completely different kind of way in terms of how they attack. Kvaratskhelia, Doué, Dembele are the three players I feel are going to still play in that attack anyway. Yes, they will rotate, but they're doing that now. Barcola still plays a lot of matches anyway. Yes, he comes off the bench, but he starts a lot of games as well. I think Diomande, if they do sign him, he'd be playing the exact same role as a Bradley Barcola. I don't think it's going to be any different unless, of course, he starts to really perform at this like crazy high level, kind of thing. Then obviously, the manager's going to have something to think about, but it's going to be very difficult to try and dispel a Dembele, a Doué, a Kvaratskhelia. Again, unless one of them is leaving that we don't know about, I don't know, right? So that's the way I kind of look at that in itself. And I feel like fans are using that as well, if he wants him, then, or if that team, wants this player, we should be all, and I'm not saying that we necessarily shouldn't be, like I say, I look at Diomande and I think to myself, you can tell he's got a raw ability about him, right? You can see in the way he dribbles, the way he moves, the way he shoots, the way his actions, in that final third. You can tell this is a very raw player. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's rubbish. Just you can just tell that. Whereas Barcola, yes, he's still got those kind of raw attributes in terms of the way he does certain things. But for me, he's just got that little, obviously, he's got that experience. This is, Diamande's first season at kind of a top level, in terms of playing over there in Germany. Before that, he was, I think it was Florida or elsewhere. I can't remember exactly. But this is his first kind of season. So I'm very hesitant in, obviously, it's not my money, but in terms of trying to, would I say, somewhat get excited about this kind of player, I'm very hesitant to just really be like, yeah, we should definitely be looking at him. It's not even necessarily that. For me, I'm always someone, I need a bit more data. One season is never enough for me. Like, unless you're performing at Lamine Yamal levels, one season for me is never enough for me to really, properly judge, what type of player is he? How is he going to be able to handle certain things? What is he like when, the spotlight is actually on him? Because what you don't want is to sign a player like that. They come into your team and now the spotlight is on them, which it would have been at their old club. Now it's starting to look like a deer in headlights. I don't really need that in my own team. We've already got enough problems as it is. So that's where I am a little bit like, okay, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying don't sign him, but how much is that going to cost you? And then how much would a Bradley Barcola cost you? Someone who's a lot more experienced at the highest level, Champions League finals, 2 years in a row. He's someone who has been playing at PSG for quite some time. There was a period of time last season where he did actually dispel. I think it was Doué, because he was performing a lot better. Again, they've got Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Ousmane Dembele, so it's always going to be difficult. Anyway, that's kind of where I sit. Now, as I said before, listen, we know it's not our money. I get all of that, but we can still have a conversation in regards to the fees that are going to be involved. Obviously, if they're both at the exact same fee, then I'm just like, it's a flip of a coin and you can kind of do whatever it is that you feel you need to do would be best for the team. Now, with both players as well, especially, they can both play on both sides. I saw Yan Diomande playing for Ivory Coast against France. He was on the left-hand side. Again, Bradley Barcola can play on the left. They can both play on the right. In my opinion, you should just be signing both if you possibly can. But obviously, I don't feel like PSG are going to allow you to sign both of those players. I feel like if you try to sign Barcola, they will just go all in, for Yan Diomande. And then, of course, I think kind of vice versa in terms of if we then go and try and get a Yan Diomande, they would obviously potentially just keep a Bradley Barcola if they could. Who knows? He might still potentially leave, and if he was to leave and Liverpool don't sign a Yan Diomande, then I don't know. I know RB Leipzig want to keep him for another season. My personal opinion, it was a bit like the Ekitike thing, which I'm still going to kind of go with that. I just feel like I need you to stay for one more season. I need one more season of data to really kind of believe in you. Like I said, I don't feel like they've got the kind of ability where it's like straight from the off, I'm like, okay, yep, this guy's going to go on to be someone important for my own team, because these are big transfer fees that we're talking about for some of these players. So you got to be kind of careful, and I know the landscape of football right now, the quality of players who are actually available outside of the elite players is very, very scarce. So of course it is slim pickings at this current moment in time. But yeah, I'm on the fence, but I'm leaning on the side more so of a Bradley Barcola. Like I said, he's someone I've watched for ages. I just think that both players in that final third action, who would I trust more? I don't know, man. I feel like they're both kind of similar, really and truly. Like I wouldn't trust that either of them really and truly. I just think Bradley Barcola is more likely to get into those kind of situations as opposed to a Yan Diomande. But Diomande can probably do a little bit more with the ball at his feet. But Bradley Barcola, in my opinion, is better with the ball at his feet in terms of the actual art of dribbling, not in terms of the whatever the statistics say about that. I actually just think when it comes to actual dribbling, getting past your man, I feel like Bradley Barcola is a little bit better than a Yan Diomande. But listen, that's just my opinion. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys actually think in the comment section. Who do you prefer, Bradley Barcola, Yan Diomande, or should Liverpool actually just try and get both? If you got any alternatives, let me know in the comment section. Same energy, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys soon.